that goes back to your question earlier. Why is America supporting Israel? That's it. Because Israel really don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Hi, y'all. Welcome to World Talk, MCM World Talk. As we just discussed a few of the things that's going on in the world right now, mixing prophecy with current events, looking at current events and seeing how prophecy works. We're going to react to a few things. What's going on with those sick, crazy protests all around our universities? And I'm talking about the major universities. How does that affect what's going on in Congress? I heard they had a banning of the Bible bill. Let's talk about it. MCM World Talk. I got my guests in the house. I got Mikey and I got Jamal. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man?
I walked out.
Yeah. So let's talk about this, man. Let's look at what's going on in the world today and how does it affect what's happening, all the school stuff, all the protests. And I've got some videos. As they say, I brought the receipts. So I'm going to share the receipts with you guys. And I want you guys to tell me, and let's talk about it. Let's react about it. I want to show you these things because they passed a bill about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago in Congress that directly these protests directly affected why that bill was passed, in my opinion. So, and that bill that they passed will kind of affect the way that we as Christians, right, proselytize and share the gospel. Because basically that bill is saying, hey, we can no longer say that the Jews killed Jesus.
What? We want to talk about altering history, man.
Talking about altering history, that's exactly what they're saying. That, the Jews, we can't say that anymore because it's anti-Semitic. Wow. So that's the crazy piece. That's what we want to talk about. So I'm going to show you some videos, man. We're going to get right into it. I want to kind of jump into what you guys think about some of these protests that are happening in and around the world. So let's take a look at the first one and give me your thoughts. All right, here we go.
Pro-Palestinian student protests spread across Europe. Some are allowed, some are stopped. Some 125 activists were arrested as police broke up a Palestinian demonstration camp at the University of Amsterdam in early hours of Tuesday, May 4, as protests that have rolled campuses in the United States spread into Europe. A crowd that swelled some 3,000 demonstrators, including students and staff, some wearing keffiyeh scarves, gathered near the location of the dismantled camp.
On college campuses and the threat of protests looming over graduation season. Just before we came on the air, police in riot gear seen moving into the University of Virginia's campus in Charlottesville at demonstrations today at the University of Michigan. All of this raising questions about the impact on commencement ceremonies across the country. ABC's Phil Lipoff from NYU here in New York.
Tonight, colleges boiling over, clashes between protesters and police at the University of Virginia. Graduation season now in full swing. Some celebrations marred by protests, fueled by the war in Gaza. At the University of Michigan, protests on the field and in the air. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators waving flags and chanting. Even booing during the president's speech. From above, supporters of Israel flying a plane carrying a sign that reads, "We stand with Israel." At least 2,300 protesters have been arrested on 46 campuses across the country in the last 3 weeks of uproar. Protests growing into encampments, administrators struggling with how to respond to the demands of protesters, for schools to cut ties with Israel altogether, divest from companies they say profit from the war, and publicly call for a ceasefire. While pro-Israeli supporters call for the release of the 100-plus remaining hostages kidnapped by Hamas on October 7th. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona writing in a letter to colleges that he is particularly disturbed by the sharp rise in anti-Semitism, calling the incidents abhorrent. Many Jewish students feeling threatened.
Jewish community here, we felt like a lot of our concerns have just fallen on deaf ears.
In Florida, the chancellor of the state university system sending a letter to all state schools saying in part, While we respect and honor the First Amendment, a commencement ceremony is not the time nor the place for a political protest.
All right. Deep stuff going on.
Wow.
Like, for me, really, I know that this is a setup,
Yeah.
right? I know that they brought this thing in to, there's somebody funding this. And I had gotten, I think I shared it on Facebook, and I got to find that thing, man. I shared it on Facebook that showed who they are that's funding it, the Soros,
I was going to say that might have been George Soros.
yeah,
He funded, he funded Black Lives Matter as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, where they go into the cities and out of nowhere there's just like a pallet of bricks in the middle of the road, and there's buses dropping people off, and it's like they're paid protesters.
Yeah. I think they're calling them agitators, is what they're calling them. And they're sending them to different places, to different, because think about it, man. NYU, MIT in Boston, in Massachusetts,
even Michigan.
But I'm saying those like MIT is like one of the top rated schools for technology. Right. Man, why would they be worrying about Hamas and Israel and all these other things? Like, I don't get it.
That news clip confused me so much because I'm like, okay, this looks like people are saying we stand with Israel and all that, but then the people there's like Jewish people on campus who are feeling threatened. Like, I don't even understand what made this uprise. What is? Do you know where this started?
They're saying that it started on October 7th.
Over what?
Over the what you call it? The war the war that's happening between Israel and Palestine,
right?
Or Hamas, more so. I don't know.
In America that are intimidating or threatening Jewish people here in America because
standing for Hamas. Yeah, but the people in America stands for Hamas, and they're standing for Palestine, or they don't know what they're standing for.
I think
because I think that's because when I looked at the video, I thought I heard that some of the schools want to ban Israel.
Yeah, what they're saying is that they want Israel to stop the apartheid, right, of killing Palestinians, right? Now, I understand. I believe, truthfully, if you ask me historically, that there is a big push, or there was a big push to get Israel to become a state in 1947, right? That was an American thing, right? That had nothing to do really with the true Israel, because if you really look back, a lot of these folks are not real the true 12 tribes of Israel.
I don't think what we think of as a Jew is a Jew today.
Correct.
These white dudes with the curly little locks coming to
there's so many different sects of Jews, like the Hasidic Jews, the regular Jews, the non-Jews, or the Jews who believe that they're Jews, like Seinfeld, like Jerry Seinfeld. He says he's a Jew, right? But I mean,
and if you want to get real deep, like in the occult origins of this stuff, like when you got a flag with a hexagram on there, and they say it's the Star of David,
right?
There's nothing in the Bible that says anything about a Star of David. That is an occult symbol,
correct?
Hexagram. So to me, when I see all these people, like, especially, we know that Satan's going to deceive the whole world. The dragon's going to deceive the whole world. And you got all these Christians, before this even happened, all my life I've seen we stand with Israel, and you got these Christians with these hexagram flag on their car and stuff. I think Satan's totally like tricking Christians into supporting the occult.
But why? Okay, so why does America stand with Israel? Like, what's the deal with that? I used to think, and this is my thing, because when God blessed Israel, He gave Israel a promise, and wealth and all that came with that promise. And for me, way back when, it was like America standing with Israel for what? Right. Is it because because God protects Israel, God gave Israel wealth, and America's like, I'm how you got that one friend because you're rich or whatever have you, like, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
you look at the book of Daniel, I talk about the Holy Land. So, it's a lot of, there's a lot of prophecy that, that adds up here.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at it. We know, that Israel is well protected by America. That we do.
Why?
Why'd they put Trump on a coin? Did you know that?
For Israel?
Yeah.
Israel put Trump on a coin? Because I guess
remember when Trump was president,
he moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
To Jerusalem. So
Yeah.
and
That's
we're
a big-
happy about that.
That was a big thing. But you know that move was already signed into act in 1990, like in the 90s. So he didn't come up with that. That was supposed to be done like back in the 1990s. He was the one that executed that. Like they waited for the right time to have the right person to execute it. But it was already put into written paper that this was going to happen and this needs to happen to move and get this. This is all set up because if the world had a problem with Trump moving the embassy over from Tel Aviv over to Jerusalem, Biden has the power to switch that over. And how in the world does America tell a country
what to do?
Wait. Hold on. Actually, we can because that's our embassy. So Biden has a power to say, hey, you know what? Let's move it back to Tel Aviv or wherever. But they're keeping it in Jerusalem. Question is why? I know that there's a whole temple setup that they're doing. The Republicans are part of this temple setup. There's a whole big thing happening that America is wielding the power. They want the war because the war is funding for the temple building in Jerusalem.
Well, you have to remember this as well. Is we look at the Bible, Revelation 12. You know, the flood. We understand that God raised up America, United States of America at that time.
Right.
It was the Dark Ages and so forth.
Right. That's that flood that came out from the dragon's mouth.
That's right. And so we got to look at that in this context, and also look at, again, back to Daniel, Israel being a holy land. So they're probably looking at that as this is God's chosen people, but we know that Satan is the counterfeit. And so, Israel's still waiting for Satan. I'm not Satan.
For Jesus.
For Jesus to walk through
and become a king.
The golden gate, right?
Wait, they're still waiting for the Messiah.
To come.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah, they're waiting for the Messiah. They're not waiting for Jesus.
So, yes.
They're waiting for the first coming.
Thank you for correcting me.
Going back to why they had made that anti-Semitic law or bill that passed, because they're saying, we cannot say no longer that the Jews killed Jesus.
That's right. That's right.
Is that
But they did. Go ahead.
I just don't get why we're gonna try and sugarcoat history. Jews killing another Jew. Jesus is a Jew,
right?
And he was saying things that a certain group of people didn't like, and they crucified him. That's just facts. I mean, it's just like we're not gonna sugarcoat and say that the Crusades didn't happen. It's just a fact.
It's a fact.
It's not hate speech hate speech against the Catholics. It's
right.
just it happened.
Right. The Crusades was Catholics killing Jews.
Yeah.
And Muslims. To get to
Are you allowed to say that?
Am I supposed to say that?
I might be censored now. Hate speech, bro.
But I'm saying, the fact is fact, right?
Yep.
This is history.
Yep.
So the whole point is that if we can wipe out history as much as we possibly can, then the people behind us, the younger people behind us, will have no clue of what's going on, and they'll think this is the norm, right? That's what they're really trying to get at. That's the whole point of all of this, right, in my mind. But the truth of the matter is that when you look at it from that perspective, like I said, there's a whole lot of questions in my mind, a whole lot of whys. Why are we holding hands with Israel? Like, what's the deal with that? We came up with an Israeli state. We created that from an American standpoint. There's floods of money that comes into this thing, right? And then, on the other end, we alienated, this other set of group of people because they have no place to be. I guess they gave them the Gaza Strip and was like, go ahead and go with that and be good, But at the other side of it, then is that the same fight, between the between Ishmael and right, and Isaac?
Wow.
Is that fight going on?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it looks like.
That's what, to me, but it has always been that way, because when Ishmael was about to be born, what did the angel tell Hagar? You're going to have a son. His name's going to be Ishmael. Yep. He's going to be a rough man. He's going to be a wild man. His hands is going to be against every man, and every man's going to be against him. He's going to be fighting all the time. He's going to be at war all the time.
Yeah, but God also said that he was going to make, before Isaac, both of them, that he's going to make a nation.
For both of them.
For both.
Right.
So we know that the nation of Islam came out of
Ishmael. Right.
And we know God's people came,
the Jews,
which is the Jews came out of.
Who was the promised child, though?
Isaac.
Isaac. Get this. So Ishmael has 12 princes. Jacob had 12 what? 12 tribes.
Wow.
The Bible says it clear that they had that Ishmael had 12 princes. He had 12 sons.
Yeah.
And Jacob had 12 sons. You see how God worked?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they both got blessed. They were both blessed. The whole point is who does it belong to, though? If they're truly the Israelites, if they're truly the Jews from the Israelites of the past, then who does the land belong to? Who the land belonged to? And this is just Israel. This is just a strip, right? Israel owned that whole thing back in the day, right? They owned Judah, and they split it. Judah, and they had Israel in the south, Judah in the north, right? Or I think it was Israel in the north, Judah. No, actually flipped. Yeah, Judah in the north, Israel in the south. What's the problem today? Like what's the deal? Like, if they own that whole thing, wouldn't it all be part of what God has planned? Is saying, hey, Ishmael's kids get some of it, and the Jews get some. What's the problem here?
Well, we know out of chaos brings order.
Yeah.
So
Synthesis.
This is what it is. This is a setup. Like you were saying, it's all been manufactured. Like you were asking why is all this Israel thing in the evangelical world? They think that Israel, the nation, the race of people or whatever, like they are God's chosen people. Like I don't understand what they mean by that. The ones who crucified Jesus, let's not sugarcoat it. The ones who rejected the Messiah, they're God's chosen people. The Bible said repeatedly, there's neither Jew nor Greek. We are all one in Christ Jesus, and we're all heirs according to the promise for the seeds of Abraham. That means there's no Jews anymore. There's no Greeks. We are. If you believe in Christ, you are a Jew.
That's it.
And that's
we're grafted in, right? That's I think that's we're grafted into Abraham's seed.
Yeah, we're all grafted. That's why we consider the spiritual Jews today. But again, you're right, Larry. This is a setup, because if you look at this video, you're seeing what the message that we're preaching today, which is the last message of the three angels' message. If they can protest that,
right?
What do you think when we start saying
the Sunday and those if any man worships the beast in his image,
come on,
right? Yeah, we start saying that, then but the whole this whole thing is really to find the boogeyman.
The stage is being set
to find the boogeyman.
Find the boogeyman.
That's it. Once they find the boogeyman, then really they don't point the finger.
See, right now they're not paying attention right now as much. They're watching, but they're not paying attention as much because it's not swelling.
Right.
But it's going to come a time when God's going to allow this thing to swell.
Right.
And then that's when we're going to see everything that we're seeing.
Well, along with climate change and all this other stuff.
All these other things.
Just what you said, order out of chaos. They have to get the world in chaos. It used to be Christians that were standing out there with signs saying the end is near and all that.
Yeah.
Now the Christians are asleep, and now it's the scientific world and the liberals and all that saying the world's come to an end. Climate change. If we don't change,
that's crazy. That's a good point, yo. I never thought about that.
And now it's like, and so there has to be a worldwide, some kind of threat to world humanity.
Yeah.
It can't just be like, 9/11 that just affected New York or whatever. It's got to be something that affects everybody. And now they're saying, look, our grandkids aren't going to have a place to live if we don't change something. Then all this racial tension stuff came up. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but ever since, slavery was changed and all that stuff, we grew up in a society where in the 90s, we're watching Family Matters and
we weren't worrying about none of that.
And we're hanging out. And I know Rodney King thing happened and all that, but then
we all just get along.
Yeah. Then out of nowhere, though, it's like statues are racist. Let's tear down the memorials and all that. And now this, and it's making me think of Matthew 24:7 when it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom shall rise against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." And when you look at the word nation in Greek, G1484, you look at it, it says ethnos. This is talking about a race war.
Yeah.
It literally says probably from a race as of the same habitat or same habit. That is a tribe, specifically a foreign, non-Jewish. The word means We're talking about
ethnicity.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
Jesus was saying the sign before me coming is there's going to be all kinds of chaos. There's going to be race wars. And what I'm getting at is like for a long time, we didn't have issues with racism. Like, yeah, you might have some rednecks that are racist against black people, but it wasn't like
black people were racist against white people.
Yeah, it wasn't like making the news like protest and
the Floyd, what they call the George Floydianism.
Yeah.
George Floyd era.
Yeah,
another so.
Yeah, because me and Michael, we was talking about that on the way over here, and I was saying the media, they do this. They don't show when the black cop is beating the black
black guy,
or they don't show the white cop beating the white guy. They don't show that as only when there's two different races,
and then BLM just come out of nowhere,
and then Black Lives Matter come up, but they only come around during election time.
And that's the whole point.
And all this is happening
on election time
because they know that Trump supports Israel.
Well, the thing about it is, and I was telling this to somebody else. Yeah, he supports Israel. They all support Israel. Mm-hmm. But what Trump would not want, and this is just me, he don't want no war.
Yeah,
they want the war. That's the chilling piece, right? These conservative Republicans, they want the war. A lot of these conservative Republicans, they want the war. Trump is saying, I don't want war. So here's the problem. Although he may say, I stand with Israel, I think that's just to me, that's political. That's political rhetoric, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody, they're making money on this thing. A lot of money. You think Joe Biden really cares about Israel?
The military industrial complex.
Right. They're making money on this thing. So keep the war going.
Yep, it generates money.
Okay, so let me find out. So why nobody was protesting with what was before this situation? Ukraine and Russia. Where's the protest on that? Somebody hit me up on was it Instagram or YouTube today? Like, yo, so what's up with Ukraine and
you really haven't heard of it? It kind of died down a little bit,
right? Besides the fact that the Zelensky kid that they try to take him out, that was on news for a little bit. Then it just phased out somewhere. Like it's just like a big fizzle. It just goes away. But nobody is protesting like that. No one from college campuses are protesting for Ukraine.
Yeah.
All you heard was we stand with Ukraine, but nobody's really standing with Ukraine. Nobody's really protesting for Ukraine.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's a good question.
And those are the things that I'm like, it makes, to me, it throws up a lot of questions in my mind. I know the end result, but in my mind it's like, why aren't people thinking about this to talk about this? Right? So anyway, I want to just kind of throw something else at you guys. And so you saw the protest. We talked about the protest, but let's react to this other video as to the same questions that we're asking is going to be asked to some of these students, and I want you to see what they come up with. All right, here we go.
I'm in New York City right now, standing outside of a Palestine protest, and today we're going to be asking these students why they are protesting. Because I've seen videos, and I don't know if all these students understand exactly why they are here, or if they're just joining the crowd. I want to know if they actually understand why they are protesting, and see if they can give me any good answers. What are you guys out here protesting for?
No comment.
Why are you guys out here today?
Speak to the organizers.
Why can't I wanted to ask you.
Official statements from the organizers only.
In the simplest terms, why are you guys protesting? Why are you guys protesting today?
I don't think it would be a good idea if we...
Why are you guys protesting?
Just to be a part of the cause.
And what's the cause?
Yeah, I'm not the right person to talk to either. I think
it's not our job to stand here and say to support. We're not the spokespeople of the Senate. This is the wrong people to talk to.
I'm not asking for the spokesperson. I'm just asking why you guys are protesting.
This is...
Even though we would call the police if we're in trouble, the police are a repressive system. They do not do any good for any community. They are not stopping crime. Police arrive after crime has been committed. We fund the police as if they solve all the community's problems. We should defund the police and put that money towards community resources like mental health, drug addiction rehabilitation, schools, community programs, and it would keep people out of committing crimes. The cops, all they do is try to get as many brown and black people into the prison system because mass incarceration these days is really just modern day slavery. So even if I might call the cops if I need help, the cops, the police, the way that system runs. The police do more bad than they do good.
But you would call them if you need help?
Yes.
So why are you guys protesting today?
I don't want to talk to press, I'm sorry.
They don't really want to talk. Why are you guys protesting here today?
I don't want to do this. Sorry.
We're asking people why they're protesting here today.
Because I want to see empire fall.
Why empire?
From the U.S. to Israel. The empire that's propped up by capitalism.
And
free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free Haiti, free Hawaii, free Puerto Rico, liberation for all.
Why are they giving out masks right now? Are they trying to cover everyone's faces? And why do you guys have the mask on right now?
Because, well, there's a police state, basically, in New York. There are CCTV cameras littered all throughout, and if Fordham admin see me at this protest with my face or my tattoos, which I've been trying to hide, I have very visible tattoos, they have the ability to recognize me and suspend me from the university for speaking out against the apartheid state of Israel.
Okay. And if they do not divest, will you guys be willing to drop out of this university?
Well, that's the issue, is that I am here for a better education. And if I don't receive this education, in some ways I feel like I'm not doing my duty to the world by bettering myself and bettering the world through my knowledge about these injustices throughout the world.
And what percentage of these students do you believe actually know why they're protesting?
100%. Maybe 90 at the lowest.
Do you know why you are protesting here today?
Yes.
And what is that reason?
No comment.
Why can only the organizers speak about what's going on here?
No comment.
Why not?
No comment.
We will not stop. We will not rest this close. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest this close. Divest.
What would you like them to divest from? What would you like them to divest from?
Fordham hasn't. They don't release where they're putting any of their money. It's very secretive, and so we want them not only to divest, but more importantly, disclose.
Is that the main reason why you guys are here? Because you want the school to divest from organizations? I'm just an independent person here.
I'm sorry. I don't think I'm supposed to talk to you.
Who tells you guys you can't speak to other people?
It's not like that.
Why are you guys protesting here today?
Because there's a genocide going on of the Palestinian people, and 17,000 people have been killed.
Please.
Hey, she's letting me talk to her. And so why are you protesting today?
Again, because 17,000 people have been killed, so that's why. And for the school to divest in funding companies that are providing Israel with weapons that are.
And what companies would you guys like the school to divest from?
That's all.
Do you think the majority of these college students know exactly why they are protesting?
The majority of them know nothing. I grew up in Israel. I moved here 27 years ago. I've been to explosions. I've been to the I don't believe in any God. I don't believe in any government. I believe in people. None of those people got their info. Okay? This is something that's been going on for years. None of them has anything to do with it, and none of them is going to lose anything where my parents sit under missiles. Not bullets, missiles. So what I think about it, I think that's what white kids in America do. We have a country that's so good here, buddy, that we have time to bitch and moan and other. They don't need to sit in the shelter and hope it's not landing on you. That's the reality of it.
And do you think any of these students would be willing to go to where the problem is actually happening there in...
100% now. To basically take it over the school, that's like me taking over an apartment. This is a little more... Same thing, we had the riots here, and everybody started breaking into stores. That's not a protest anymore. We've demonstrating for days. Nobody's listening. I haven't seen anything done on any level. Not even our government, so...
Yeah, do you think there will be any results to these protests? Or?
Absolutely not. No one in Israel sees this. They see this 2 minutes a day. No one got even electricity to see this. If you want to know your
Yeah.
That's all, like every piece of history. Nothing is black and white.
In your simplest terms, why are you guys protesting right now?
I'm not going to give you like a specific answer. I have my own reasons. Many other people have their own reasons. We feel a sense of responsibility. Some of our tuition goes to that.
And do you believe these students are standing up for the right cause?
Certainly, I do believe that these students stand up for the right cause. And the same do I. I stand up for Palestine because I believe that everything that was done to Palestine from the very beginning is wrong. And not only wrong for Palestine, it's wrong for the Jewish people. It is fueling this endless cycle of bloodshed where everyone suffers through.
And what are you guys out here protesting for today?
Sorry, who are you with?
My name's Nick Shirley. I'm just a YouTuber.
You're what?
YouTuber.
I'm good.
What are you guys protesting for?
So we're protesting for Fordham to divest from any connection to Israel or supporting the genocide that's going on in Palestine right now.
And would you guys be willing to walk away from this university if they do not divest?
I mean, me personally, I'm already walking away. I'm graduating, so I will be leaving in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if other students feel the same way, but our main goal with this protest is actually not to leave, to physically stay in this place until they divest, which I think is more important than us leaving as students from the university, because I just don't think that us leaving means that we're no longer here to protest. That means we're no longer here to have our voices be heard, so I don't really think that's the most productive.
And where are you from?
I don't know. I don't want to talk to people.
Wait, what? Why are you guys here today?
We're not interested in
What are you guys protesting for?
For Palestine. Our college hasn't made a stand yet, and we, as students, are not for it.
Okay, what are you guys not supporting? What are you guys against here?
The settlement of Palestine by Israel.
Why do you think a lot of the students here are afraid to talk, or they won't talk to other people that have cameras?
I think it's because the school has been threatening that they would suspend students and make arrests.
A lot of people are getting doxxed. That means people are finding out their personal information and they're threatening their personal life, things like that. That's why people are scared and are wearing masks.
Scare us off, but
Is it gonna work?
not really, no.
How long are you guys willing to stand here for?
Until they, I don't know, until they do something about it, until Tanya Tetlow speaks.
Reach an agreement.
What's that agreement gonna be?
We'll have to do some negotiations, but we want most of the 4 tenets that we just discussed over there, and part of that is condemning Israel, letting the Palestinian student organization have funding and have their club, and the overseas program as well, and cancel it. You want that?
Yeah, none of the students want to cause violence. We're just here to get to a solution. So
I think the more I see, the more confused I get about what they're. I'm the more I watch, the more confused I am about what their cause is or anything.
Right. I'm totally confused myself.
But this is the hive mind mentality, the herd mentality. Yeah. It's whatever the media starts putting on the screen, you want to be a part of it. It's these are just people that want to be a part of something. They don't have their identity in Christ. They don't understand what's going on, and they just want to. I mean, it's good, I guess, that they want to be a part of something, a good cause or whatever. But the fact that they don't even know why they're there just shows how much influence the media has.
Straight hive mind.
Yeah,
because they repeat everything somebody else is saying.
Yep.
Just listen to what they said. The young lady who just finished saying that they're trying to get rid of the international. The kids coming in from international, they don't want that. Mm. It's almost telling me, well, they're doing it for Palestine. It's almost like they want to get rid of the Jews coming in internationally. But wouldn't that stop the Palestinian kids coming to school here internationally as well?
Wait, I thought this was all about anti-Semitism. Now you don't want the Jews to come in. Isn't that anti-Semitic?
Right.
That's why I'm so confused. What is going on?
That's the whole reason why that Congress passed that bill. You see how the push is, right? You see how one hand plays in the other.
Yeah.
We saw this. Let me say 2 things. The first thing I'm going to say, we saw this before in the Bible. Even the ones Jesus healed and the ones who watched Jesus healed, even raised the dead, the sick, so forth. What happened when he was on that cross, so there were demons in human form that started
chanting,
crucify him. And the very ones some that he saved, some that relatives that he saved, some who saw him do miracles, all started chanting, crucify him. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the same thing today. And my second thing I'm going to say, there was an experiment a few years ago. It was on YouTube. It was at a medical clinic, and they had some actors that were there, and they were all in the waiting room waiting to see the doctor. So people were coming in, sitting down. They picked up a magazine, but the 2 actors were on there, and as soon as a noise go off, it was like a beep sound. They get up, they stand up, and they sit right back down. And so they're looking and so every 15 seconds it does it. And so they kept doing it. Every time it beeped, they would just stand up, and then they started doing it.
I remember that. I remember that exercise. Yeah,
it was an experiment. And every time, so more people kept coming in, and So everybody just started joining in. They didn't even know why they were.
Exactly.
They didn't know why they were doing it. They just know that everybody else was doing it. I got to do it too.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing here. Same thing that happened with Christ when they said crucify him. Same thing with that experiment. And it's the same thing that's going to happen when it's time to come against those who are going to stand for Christ.
That's the herd mentality.
The herd mentality.
Because, just listening to a lot of this one lady in there says she's just there because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here to support.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Support what? And it's like, hey, I'm just here to support. I'm at a stadium where they're killing Christians. Yeah, kill the Christians, feed them to the lions.
Yeah.
That's what was going on in Rome.
That's exactly
and
what's going on.
And people just like, I don't know. I'm just here to support whatever's going on.
I'm just here to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
What are they doing? I don't really know. But I mean, everybody's here, so I'm just here with them.
Yeah, but don't let the guy who spoke, a lot of things he said was true, but don't let what he had on be swept under the rug.
Well,
because he had all these.
Yeah, but he said he done told you that he don't believe in God.
Oh yeah, that dude
he was clear
than any of them.
Right, he was very clear that he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in anything. He believes in human,
but
or people.
But where was he from?
He was from Israel.
He's from Israel.
He said he'd been here 27 years. I don't know. I'm making a point though. That goes back to your question earlier. Why is America supporting Israel? That's it. Because Israel really don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Right. You made a point. That's true.
And so Satan is going to, he's going to line all his agents together,
bomb together
to, now had Israel still been, had accepted Christ and still was supporting Christ, Israel wouldn't be protected by the United States today.
Yo, you know what? That's a bomb you just dropped, MJ. That's a big bomb you just dropped because they don't believe in Jesus.
They don't believe in Jesus. And not only that, the one who killed Jesus was Rome.
Right.
So when Jesus was alive, Israel, the Jews, gave Jesus up to the Romans to be killed.
Right.
So now today we got, and we know all roads lead to Rome. And so now we got Rome here and we got Israel here, who's supposed to be the Holy Land.
Yeah.
But they're not holy because they don't even believe, they're still waiting for the Messiah to come, which is Satan is going to come and impersonate Jesus, who the one they hated, despised, and don't believe in.
And many of them are going to go that route. So that's a good point you just make. They don't believe in Jesus.
They don't believe.
So beloved, that would be the friendship that they have.
Yes.
Right? Because you would think America, supposedly a Protestant nation, which is no longer a Protestant nation, they're an evangelical nation because they dropped the Protestantism thing a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because had they kept Protestantism going, right? That's the reason why now it makes sense in 2015 when what's his name, that dude that came up, he died. He was like apologist for the Roman Catholic Church preaching. What's his name? Tony,
Pastor Tony?
No,
the dude that was on.
Yes, he died in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah,
the dude that was on Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Tony, what's his last name?
I forget.
Tony something.
Yeah, he was a priest.
I almost said Tony Romo.
So he was a Catholic priest.
Myself,
The Catholic priest that stood up in front of.
But he was not a Catholic priest.
He wasn't.
No, he was a.
Why was he wearing that thing?
He's an evangelical.
He's an evangelical,
and he was wearing the collar.
Yeah, they all wear that collar. Yeah. And I just came from a funeral at a Baptist church where the Baptist pastor had the same collar on. It just says that you're a clergyman. That's all it says.
He was telling everybody, I guess we're all Catholic now.
Yeah, but remember, he says Protestantism is dead. Remember that?
Yeah.
In 2015. It makes sense. Now, because they were calling themselves Protestants.
Yep. No. He didn't say it was dead. He said the protest is
over. The protest is over. That means Protestantism is dead.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah.
Right, it's finished because America was calling itself a Protestant nation.
That's right.
It's over. But they now call themselves evangelicals. And that's it. There's no more.
This is how the dragon is speaking.
Right. There's no more Protestantism anymore. So basically, a Protestant nation is now, you're saying, wait a minute now. Now it makes sense that they're tied in with Israel because Israel don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. They may believe in God, but they don't believe
as evangelicals. Let's stand with
right.
They're the holy chosen people. The ones who nailed Jesus to the cross are the chosen people.
And those are the same ones who say you can't say nothing about that anymore.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because now the evangelical church now is saying, wait, hold up a second. You just took out the greatest tenets of the Bible. Because that's what the truth is, right? So they're saying, well, in one of these clips, and I'm going to show you right now. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. This clip right here, let me see if I can find it.
Controversial House bill on anti-Semitism makes the Bible illegal. Here's a prophetic perspective on a particularly pressing issue on the U.S. Congress just passed a bill H.R. 690. This bill was introduced to stop anti-Semitism in the U.S., but they have included a clause which now makes it illegal to include the Pharisees that killed Jesus. Here is the latest news. April 3, 2024. This is causing quite a stir in the Christian world. Did the House of Representatives just make parts of the Bible illegal? Asked by Turning Point USA founder and CEO Charlie Kirk in a tweet on X following the bill's passage. And Tucker Carlson replied, yes, the New Testament, Marjorie Taylor Greene, anti-Semitism is wrong, but I will not be voting for the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023 today that could convict Christians of anti-Semitism for believing the gospel that says Jesus was handed over to Herod to be crucified.
They laid it out, right? Basically saying, hey, there's a problem with this bill, and the evangelical church has that problem. But the evangelical Republicans were the ones who passed it.
I was going to say, this is literally like tricking Christians into banning the Bible because they're like, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. I stay with Israel.
Right.
So yeah, if there's something anti-Semitic, let's pass that.
So now you have to say that you are standing with Israel by force.
Whoa, bro.
Well, hold on. Then Revelation 13 says that it will cause.
Yeah.
The word cause means
force. Right.
All, rich, poor, free and bond.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter. It's not about race anymore. You know, they're using that as leverage. But also, that's what I was looking at right here in Revelation chapter 11.
Mm-hmm.
The two witnesses is going to be trampled underfoot. God already told us that this was going to happen.
That's right.
And it says right here in verse 5, and if any man who will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed.
Yep.
So you got to explain this some, because I know a lot of people, especially in the evangelical world, they think the two witnesses are literally going to be prophets, physical prophets that are going to come back to earth. And
no,
okay,
the Bible explains it for itself who the two witnesses are.
The two witnesses is the Word of God. It's the Old Testament and the New Testament.
That's right.
And now we're seeing the New Testament being trampled underfoot.
This is what you're saying right here. Because we're told in the Bible in inspiration that Satan is going to try to silence God's people in the last.
Hold up. But isn't that what Tucker Carlson just finished saying?
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk was like, yo, they literally just banned, they just killed the Bible, really. And what did Tucker Carlson came back and say? The New Testament. Right. That's the one of the witnesses. Right. So, I mean, that's not hard to understand. The evangelical world just gets it wrong, saying, well, there's going to be two physical prophets and this, that, and the third. No. The Bible explains itself.
That's right.
It literally tells you that it's going to be witnessing from sackcloth.
That's right.
Man, I started hearing in like my early high school years, I started hearing this hate speech, hate crime type terminology thrown around. And I, as a teenager, I was so just like everybody else, just brainwashed. You know, I thought conspiracy theorists were nuts and all this stuff. And I thought, oh, that's it's a good thing or whatever. Hate speech that's wrong. You shouldn't. But the whole thing about that is they've set up a law where it's like, okay, hate speech is usually about minority groups like LGBT and all that kind of stuff. And what happens is, like, if a grandma goes up to an ATM machine and gets robbed at gunpoint, they're like, okay, well, we'll try to find the guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. If a homosexual gets held up at an ATM machine, now it's like, whoa, we're going to find the guy. We're going to put him under the prison because this is a hate crime.
Yep.
And what? Oh, he's called you a slur too? Oh, a hate speech. You know, it's like
look at him.
Yeah, now it's like this is a protected group of people, and so
as to what do you see what they're doing with Israel?
Yeah, and so now over the years we're starting to see what's happening where in like California you're not even allowed to preach certain parts of the Bible because it's hate speech. Mm-hmm. If you're a pastor, okay, we're watching you live, and ever since the pandemic, now everybody live streams. AI can watch every word live. Actually, AI will live closed caption.
Transcribe.
Yeah, transcribe it.
Mm-hmm.
So now no preach. It's like every word you say is being scrutinized, and imagine how many things could be flagged on YouTube. Hate speech.
Yeah. Because my son, he's he's on a project right now on for school on LGBT. He was just telling me this morning that a man was arrested and they gave him 15 years in prison for burning an LGBT flag.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they gave him 15 years in prison.
But you can burn the American flag in this state,
and get nothing, and nothing happens to you.
Hold on. I'll take it a step further. You can't even, in certain sports now, you can't even sing the national anthem because it has the word God in it.
Yeah.
Dude, they can burn the Bible all day long.
Or even remember they try to take away God out of the allegiance, pledge allegiance, right? Pledge allegiance to the flag and to the United States and to the Republic versus the one nation under God. I think they tried their best to omit that.
Yep.
So Marilyn Manson can get on stage, rip pages out of the Bible, no problem.
No problem.
But then you get on stage and burn a flag, you're gonna.
There is a saying, Mikey, that goes: "Truth is on the scaffold, wrong is on the throne." Mm-hmm. Wow. Truth is on the scaffold, wrong is on the throne. Who are the people that work on the scaffolds?
Builders.
You don't know. You're paupers, right?
Yeah.
Your working class works on scaffolds.
Yep.
Who sits on thrones? Kings. Truth is on the scaffold, wrong is on the throne. Or the Bible tells us in Isaiah 49 that the truth will be scattered in the streets.
Yep.
And
equity can't enter.
In the last days, right is going to be wrong and
wrong will be right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're seeing right now. And it's clear to me now, because like I said, it made sense when you said that Israel does not believe in Jesus. It all makes sense that now the protest is supposedly over. The evangelical world ties hands with Israel, but Israel and Rome are tied together. Israel and Rome are tied together. So that's the way we are directly going to clasp our hands with Rome. It's almost like the Kumbaya circle. Yep. We're going to get with Israel, one hand with Israel, one hand with Rome, and everybody's going to sing Kumbaya around the fire pit. And, eventually that's because listen to this, man. You would think Israel would be, and it's not really Israel, it's just Israel. I'm just pronouncing it that way because Israel is really God's people.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? But when you look at how they don't, the national Sunday law and everything else is going to be passed and all that, you would think that a whole nation like Israel will be able to stand up against that. Because guess what they do? Supposedly keep the Sabbath holy, right? The Shabbat. So how do they fit in with Rome? How, the Rothschilds and all these other guys, these are all Jewish people. How are they fitting in with Rome? How are they tied hand in hand with Rome if they are the ones saying, well, you know what? We believe in the Sabbath. We believe we're going to stand for the Sabbath when these folks are doing everything else that Rome is doing.
Right.
So there's what we're looking at right now.
That's why it's called Israel. Israel is God's what?
God's people.
And Israel is the apostasy Israel.
Right. It's, but
the apostasy is real.
The apostasy
is real.
It's apostate Israel. It's not the real people. There's not one. I don't know who can really claim that they're from the tribe of Dan or Issachar.
Yeah.
I just wanted somebody to tell me, you know what? I trace my roots all the way back to the tribe of Judah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because now the way God looks at it is that there's no Jew, there's no Greek. We're all part of that one body of people that Christ is coming to get if we are Christ-like and following him. And Christ-like people are called Christians.
Yeah, that's right. Because it has his name in it.
There you go.
Christian.
Right.
Just like the Sabbath has the Father's name in it. Abba.
Right.
Sabbath. Abba. Father.
Right.
So
Christ, Christian.
Christ, Christian. Christian.
Right. Yeah. I don't see how they and man always tries to fix it on their own, and the more man tries to fix it on their own, the more destructive it becomes.
But it goes back to the Word of God. Satan's argument in heaven was we can self-govern ourselves. We don't need God's law.
So why do they keep trying to self-govern? Why do we got a government?
No, but now we're showing
that we can't.
Why we can't self-govern ourselves. This planet is a mess.
Defund the police, man.
Yo, so did y'all catch that one? Did y'all catch that one when the guy was like, so we're gonna defund the police, and she was, pretty much talking about how bad the police are, and then it was like, yo, so if you need them, will you call them?
He said yes.
Yes.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That kills me.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute, you talked all this smack about the police, but if you need them, you're gonna call them?
Yep.
You just finished saying they're gonna come late. They're gonna do this.
What if they really did? What if she's saying we should defund them? Then they really are defunding, and she calls.
We ain't got. Yeah,
there is no police.
Yeah, she gets that ringtone, beep, 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 and then the number you've dialed.
Yeah, go cops too.
Yeah,
You funded them, remember? Oh, you want them now?
You know what? I'm thinking about doing a little skit like that.
That'd be awesome.
You got somebody getting beat up.
Yeah.
And you dial.
Wait, weren't the cop gets there like, wait a minute, weren't you at that protest defund? Yeah, I'll see you later. Man.
Yeah. You know what? And the guy was talking about how he wears a mask. They all wear masks to cover their face, wearing glasses and whatnot, because CCTV's everywhere, and the school can expel them because they shouldn't be a part of that protest. The thing about it is, why take that risk if you don't know what you're doing it for?
That's crazy.
You want them to divest and disclose the funding where the money is going. No school's going to do that for you.
Right.
Well, you want to come on in and sit around the table. Let's talk about how we spend our money that you give us, right? All the millions of dollars you give us for your education. We'll show you how we spend your money. Yeah. No, they're not going to do that. And then divest from what?
They don't have a right. There's no right. You don't have no right.
You have that exactly. You have a privilege to come to the school by paying your tuition. Yeah. That's your privilege. Work that privilege. And the problem that I'm seeing, the fear that I'm seeing here, is that most of those people out there, when they leave out of college and universities and they graduate and they go into the world, guess who's going to be leading this in top areas of companies? These guys.
Scary world.
Very scary world.
But see, all we are as human beings are ventriloquists. Even Satan got his hand in your back, or God got his hand in your back. There's only going to be two classes.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing
two powers, you mean?
You would never seen this in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Because the baby boomer generation would never went for none of this stuff we're seeing.
Well, nah. This ain't baby boomer generation.
No.
60s. The 60s, they were marching. They were marching too.
Going on.
Yes.
But they didn't have social media.
That is true. But, when the Pope came here in the 70s, I remember my mother telling me when the Pope came here.
When he tried to come
here in the 70s.
Yeah.
Tried to come here.
That was Pope John Paul.
And they ran him out of here.
And he tried to get in the 80s.
Yep, in the 80s too.
What was the reason for not letting him come in?
This was because this was a Protestant.
They were protesting.
Even in the 70s, they understood. Protest.
Yeah.
They waited till the baby boomer generation to get old. Now this new generation, they don't care.
Well, it's the Generation X.
Yeah, especially X. The millennial.
The Generation X is us, right?
Yeah.
They. It's almost like they didn't really care much about us. Because look at this. Pope John Paul came in the 80s too. Remember, he came in the 80s. He didn't he actually touched ground with foot in the 80s. But he didn't speak to, he never went to Congress.
Mm-hmm. Now they call him the Holy Father at the UN and stand up.
He never went to the UN. He never went to any of those places.
2005 he did here.
That was 2005. 15. No, 2015. That's Francis. I'm saying Pope John Paul in the 80s.
I'm showing the difference.
Remember, the time has changed. In the 70s and the 80s, the Pope could not really come into America like that.
Yeah.
Because there was protest against the Pope.
Yep.
Okay?
Protest.
Come now, 2015, the leopard that sits on top of the tree is a patient animal.
Very patient.
Very, very patient animal. They will wait for time to move by to get their prey.
Yeah.
And they study their prey. Leopards, they live on trees.
But didn't God tell us that? Would a leopard change his spot or Ethiopian his skin?
Right. As to why the depiction of that beast power is the body of it is a leopard.
Right.
Because he understands leopards wait for their prey.
And stealth mode.
And they are good at what they do.
Very good. So
Rome from 1970s, 60s, and the 70s have been trying their best to get into. They did everything in their power to crumble America. They put the schools in America. Okay, they created slavery. Mm-hmm. They created the Civil War. That Civil War in the South was because they were killing Protestant America. All those that's why it's called the Bible Belt in the South.
That's right.
They literally started that, make sure the Civil War is going to happen because they wanted to get rid of the Protestants in America. Okay, that didn't work. None of everything, even the schools they put into the institutions, they understood. Okay, we can't get older ones. We'll start them from the young, from the youth. As to why we see what we see today, right? Georgetown University, Rice University, Loyola University, Boston College. They're all Catholic schools. Yep. All of them. Where did AOC come from? AOC went to Boston College.
I want to know what you just said about the Civil War. And so they were trying to fight the South because they were all still clinging to the Bible and stuff?
Yes, sir.
And then that's another thing that they've flipped into some kind of racism thing.
Yes, they did.
The Confederate flag. I don't even know what all it's about. I'm not claiming.
But remember, slavery was the issue of the Civil War.
That's right.
Right? What brought slavery? What slavery had so much in it. It had religious. It was religion in slavery. Okay, it was heavily religious. All right, it was not just selling black bodies to different things. It was religion was tied to this thing. Right? A lot of these folks believed in Christ.
Well, I seen an interview.
Even the slaves.
I seen an interview of a black dude wearing a Confederate uniform and said, "I fought in that."
In the fight, yeah.
I seen a truck today with a black yesterday with a black brother. He was over by the clinic and he had Confederate plates on his on his pickup truck. But then again, I mean, if you look at it, it's all a setup.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it's all a setup.
Jesuit setup is real.
But going back to the animal of that leopard.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a leopard. Now, me and my children, we like to watch National Geographic and all these things.
I'm all that.
A leopard will jump into a water and snatch a crocodile.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
In his own environment.
Yeah.
Usually, you go in the water, you're finished.
Cats don't even like water.
Any other
leopards are different.
Leopards are different. Think about it. The water.
Yeah.
I seen the beast come out of the
water. Right. Again, the leopard is a different type of animal.
Yes.
Okay, so watch this. Look how the Bible depicts this beast image, right? It had the mouth of a lion. Mm-hmm. The mouth of a lion is stronger than a leopard's jaw. Mm-hmm. The jaw of a lion is extremely stronger than the jaw of a leopard. Okay, because the lion is a bigger animal.
That's right.
Stronger animal. Okay, so they had the mouth of a lion, the body of a leopard. Okay, that the body of a leopard. Lions can stealthy, hang in the high grass that you can't see them, whatever. Especially when it's brown. They had that brown, high grass. But leopards,
you get away from them.
The way that they're designed is that you get hypnotized watching a leopard. Okay, the spots on a leopard is designed so beautifully. When they hang in trees, you can't really tell because leopards camouflage very well.
That's right.
Very well. They got the leaves around them. They're in between. You can't really tell what's up there. And they're watching you. They see you because they have what they call height advantage, right?
Yeah.
They see you coming long before you can tell where they are. And you would not look up and go, oh, nah. These dudes know exactly how to, and they will go from the tree. I'm talking about high from the tree, drop their body into the water, and come back up with a crocodile in their mouth. Leopards. And it has the feet of a bear. Look.
Oh, they're really thick. Yeah.
What?
But I want you to think about that for a minute. A croc in his own environment.
Yeah. Where the croc, the spin.
He has a spin, he has the water.
Right.
He's going into the water, fighting them underwater.
Yeah.
Comes up
with his neck.
But behind his...
Yeah. The spin doesn't bother them.
Now let's bring it back to the Bible. We're seeing that beast come up out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But he comes into America because remember, God opened up America
in a place that was not then. So that's right.
To
save those who were getting persecuted.
To swallow that flood, which was the doctrine.
Yeah.
What are they doing today? That same leopard that goes into that water, that grabs that croc in his environment, they came right into this environment.
In the flood.
And infiltrate it.
Yeah.
And this is what we're seeing on television. We're seeing, in that protest, we're seeing all these things happen. We're seeing what's the word I'm looking for? The slyness, the cunningness. You know, we're seeing people are programmed. It's like they got batteries in there.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It's like they got, and I mean, it's scary.
It's scary. You know what's scary? Even scary. Remember? Okay, I never watched these type of movies, but a lot of folks, you know, the Living Dead. What's the other one that a lot of folks like to watch? The zombies.
Oh, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Yeah. Okay, that was huge for about what 10 years or something like that, right? Now you look at the drug fentanyl. And what they're mixing it, called Flocka and Waka and all this other stuff. And you see people literally leaning over like zombies. Like they just, you know, leaning. My son went to San Francisco for a cybersecurity conference. Came back and said, Dad, it's real out there. The drug, because they're giving them the drugs. And he said that the way that these people looked, he says that they were just high every day. And I saw it for myself. That drug, man, the lady was just leaning and, you know, she's by my truck, just...
It's demonic possession.
Her top of her head was by her legs. Just leaning, standing there sleeping.
But even bath salt that was used that way. That bath salt
too. Yeah, making zombies out of people, man. So to me, what the devil is doing is that like Hollywood always does. You said the Hollywood's Bible. The predictive programming. These people program so many of our folks watching Walking Dead. Is now these folks are now actually walking dead. Many of them.
Think about that word spiritually, dead. That's lost. The lost are called, they're dead in trespasses and sins. They're walking dead.
That's it.
Dead man walking.
Yeah, dead man walking. Dead man walking. But yeah, man, you know, I just really wanted to bring these things out, man. We have to start waking up. Yeah, man. We gotta start waking up. This is some serious situation. We gotta start telling people, yo, this is happening. This is the realness. Get up.
Well, Jesus told the parable of the 10 virgins. The 10 virgins, they were all virgins. They're all Christians.
Right.
The virgins is a symbolic for God's
because
people. They all had oil in their lamps, which was the Holy Spirit. So these are all people in the end times that are worshiping God, believing God. They have the Holy Spirit, but then half of them fell asleep. And when they woke up and they realized where they were at, that they were lacking, they were like, I need it, but it was too late.
Did you know that the virgins, all 10 virgins, represent the virgins of Revelation chapter 7, right? Yeah, they all represent the virgins of Revelation chapter 7, right? That these are virgins that they never got filthy with the harlot,
right?
Right. The only thing is that that means for those of us who know the truth, half of us will fall away. Or more than half of us will fall away. That's crazy.
And that's nailing the coffin for people that believe in the once saved, always saved. I don't know how anybody can believe that when you got the parable of the prodigal son who was with the father, chose to leave the father, and the father's standing there with arms wide open, but Christ never forces himself upon anyone. He's standing there knocking on the door of your heart. He wants you to open the door. If you choose to walk away, that's your choice, and he gives you that choice.
Right.
He gives you the freedom of choice. And the parable of the virgins, these are people who are Christians. The Bible says that many will depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of demons. That means that you had to be a part of the faith in order to depart from the faith.
Correct.
And so, yeah, Satan has so many ways to deceive people into thinking and lulling them to a sense of security. Like, no, I said the prayer, you know, I can still do whatever I want to do. I said that prayer when I was a kid. I'm going to heaven. Or,
as I said before, I think you came in, Mike, when I said that. But talking to a lot of them, man, when you hear you're a Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, I'm saved, man. I'm saved.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know, and that means I can do whatever I want.
Right.
I'm good. I'm saved. But that's not what that means.
And they bring up the verse that says, "No one can pluck you from his hand." That's true. Nobody but you.
Right.
You can choose to walk away.
Right. And that's the power of choice.
Yeah.
That's the power of choice, man.
But see, that's the problem with us today is the devil was, you know, he's singing us lullabies, rocking back to sleep. You know, see, even amongst us, you know, we got to be careful because, you know, remember, the Bible says that Lucifer had perfect pipes. He had perfect pipes,
and he has that real. He got that real smooth voice.
Yeah, smooth. But see, I have a sermon that's called I forgot the name of the sermon, but I never even preached. I did it a long time ago. Never preached it, but it had to do with Satan being the pretty boy. You know, all the women like to, women attracted to men who other women are attracted to.
Of course.
So Satan
who wouldn't be. Right?
So when you look at Satan, he had the emeralds, the onyx, the topaz. He was beautiful.
He was a fly gangster.
He had a beautiful voice. He could sing. Yeah. He sweep the woman right off her feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then Isaiah 53 says that Jesus was nothing to desire after.
Right.
So he's the husband. So he's nothing to glamour after. So
and ladies don't go for guys.
So but everybody wants the pretty boy. But see, but the thing about it is the pretty boy got all these women. He got Hindu, he got Muslim, he got Islam, he got all these other women. You know, and God's people, God's wife that he's trying to win back.
Right.
Book of Hosea, he's trying to win back because before he comes, he's gonna reveal that he was not just with a regular man. He was not just with a man who was nothing to desire. He was actually with a king.
So he was the Eddie Murphy. He was the Eddie Murphy.
King. He was Lord of Lords.
He was the Eddie Murphy in Coming to America.
Eddie Murphy Coming to America.
What a country.
So whatever. And look. And look. And remember the girl that they tried to fix him up with?
Yeah, the whatever you like girl. Yeah. That's
what the girlfriend's doing to Satan.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Whatever you like. Yeah. What do you like? Whatever you like. And some of us, some of us, it's funny, but some of us are doing that.
No, let's keep going with the analogy because you see in that movie, Eddie Murphy, who played a prince, right? He left his place of the kingdom to come to a place to look for his queen, right? He made himself very low, working at McDowell's, right? As a not lowest of the lows. The lowest of the lows. He was mopping floors.
The king of Zamunda,
mopping floors, and did not want no one to know who he is or who he was.
That's right.
Right? Isn't that amazing? And then the contrast is I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Mike.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just saying, when you look at it from that perspective, it's the same thing as Christ saying, "Hey, look, I left my place to come and look for my bride. But my bride has to be pure."
Hold on.
She had her sister was the opposite of her.
She was.
Her sister was,
was the wild one.
The wild one. Oh. Right? The one that's trying to distract him from getting the pure one. You see? So Satan's very good, as you said, the pretty boy. Now, his... Go ahead. I'm going to let you go that way. Go ahead.
Oh, man. So you got me going now, Larry. You got my mind running. Now, let's take the analogy. Those two sisters. Let's take it back to King Solomon.
Yeah.
When the woman was going to chop the baby.
Yes.
The woman, the real mother, said no, was willing to give up her child just so that child may live.
Right.
But the mother that wasn't the real mother, she wanted the child to be divided in half.
Yes.
That child represented who?
Christ.
Christ. Wanted to divide Christ in half. Wanted to divide
his church in half. Yeah.
I never thought about it split like that.
Split it. And that's what you see today. The devil is like, look, I can't have them. Break them.
Yeah.
Divide
nations everywhere.
And conquer. Yeah. Divide and conquer. Because if that child was split in half, the fake mom would have conquered and won.
Yep.
You see? But the mother who said keep that child whole, Solomon realized and knew by wisdom of God, that's the real mother. It's crazy how all this stuff is just coming around. But when you look at that kind of thing from these perspectives, God says, look, I've been showing you this kind of stuff for a long time. Right? It's in your daily life.
Yeah.
Right? It's what you call, man, you know what? These are object lessons I need to hold on to.
That's right.
But yeah, man. Anyway, brothers, man, I do appreciate it. I want to just talk a little bit about what you guys are doing. Mikey, talk about, Little Light Studios and Little Light Kids. What are you guys are doing there, man?
So I work in a ministry called Little Light Studios. We do a lot of just looking at pop culture through the lens of the Bible. So whether it's movies or games or celebrities, new age, LGBTQ, all this stuff that the church doesn't want to talk about or doesn't know how to address, that the youth is really struggling with. This stuff's being thrown at them and they need answers. So we want to be the source of giving those answers to those tough questions. And so because there's so much garbage out there in the media, we also have Little Light Kids, where we're starting to create biblical, wholesome, good quality content for kids that they can actually watch. And you don't have to worry about agendas like witchcraft or new age or LGBT or any of that. Puppet shows, and we got a lot of cool things coming at us. It's a new, so help us out. Subscribe to that channel, help it grow. We got a lot of cool ideas that we're coming out, animations and stuff like that.
Cool, man. I'm looking forward to that. Jamal, talk about your ministry, my brother.
Yeah, the name of my ministry is called Origin of Truth Ministries, Missionary Ministries. It's OTMM. We're on YouTube and Facebook. Right now we're doing a lot of outreach in the communities. We do a lot of health expo. We got a lot of things coming up this summer.
Y'all do that door to door?
Yeah, we do that door to door, and we do a lot of outreach with the homeless. We do a lot of outreach with the health And I'm about to get back on my platform. Back on my platform. I've been away for a while, but you can check me out at Origin of Truth Ministries on YouTube or Facebook.
And cool. You just shared a testimony recently too, right?
Yes. I shared a testimony, but that was,
you got to get that out. Yeah. You got to really get that out.
I want to see the testimony because I know, just from what I've heard, he grew up in the gang.
That's what he
ex-Mason.
You know his uncle, right?
No, I don't.
You never heard of his uncle?
I don't know, mate.
Mr. Go ahead.
Marvin Hagler.
Mr. Hagler, the boxer.
The boxer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you got a lot of.
Yeah, he's a celebrity couch guy, man.
What's up, man?
He's a couch celebrity.
I actually have a cousin who's in the music industry right now. Her name's Coi Leray. Y'all probably heard a few of her songs.
Yeah, name sounds familiar.
Yeah, Coi Leray. Look her up. She's very famous.
She's hot right now.
From Boston, out of Boston.
But yeah, man, I do appreciate you guys coming on this platform, man. MCM World Talk. We want to continue this, man. This is episode number 2, and we have a lot of other topics coming along, and I want you guys to continue joining us. Be a part of the family. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you think that this content was something that you like. Hit the like button because you like what you like. So looking forward to seeing you guys again. Be a part of the crew. MCM World Talk. We out. God loves you. So do we. So do I. Be blessed.